Welcome to Creatively Optimized, the podcast for service businesses ready to shine online. I'm Jenny Belanger, the founder of Jenny B Designs, a web design studio that builds strategic and beautiful websites that are designed to book you ideal clients and make you money. With over 10 years of growing my own design business, I'm here to share tips to creatively optimize your business. Get ready to learn web design strategies for high converting websites, digital marketing tactics to reach ideal customers, and systems to simplify operations. If you're ready to blend creativity and strategy, you're in the right place. Join me on this journey to creatively optimize your unique business. Let's do this. Hey friend, welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. In my previous episode, I shared with you what I consider makes a high converting website, because that's what I talk about every single day. You need a website that converts for you. And by that, I mean attracts your ideal clients and makes you money. I want to talk a little bit about the systems that you need in place behind that high converting website to make everything work for you around the clock. In my mind, systems are probably as important as a beautifully designed and well-written website. You need to have all these pieces of the puzzle in place to know that you're set up right online. And I love a good system. It just makes things so much easier. Today, I kind of wanted to break down everything you need to know about the back-end systems that power your website. And then I'm going to share with you the two systems that I think are so important and a must-have for a website that converts. You want to know that you can sit back and relax and that your website has got you. And these two systems are so important to help you achieve success. If we haven't met before, I'm Jenny B. I own Jenny B Designs. We are a web design studio, and I just truly adore helping other brands build an online home that truly reflects their personality and attracts ideal clients and makes them money. So here we go. Let's start talking about what I consider a system when it comes to your website. The first system is the platform that you are going to build your website on. And there are a lot out there. There's Squarespace, Wix, Showit, Duda, WordPress. The list kind of goes on. And I get this question a lot. Where should I build my website? What is the best place to build my website on? And my answer for you is whatever platform that you feel that you can maintain your website on and update it successfully, that is the best place to build a website. And that's the best platform for you to select. Now, for me, I work on WordPress. I tend to think of WordPress as being the best platform out there. It has options that are endless. You can integrate so many things. And because I love a good system, I love using WordPress. It also is really, really great for SEO when it comes to being found by Google. That said, you can make any other platform work for you. So I don't want the platform choice to be holding you back from taking the next step out there. But I love using WordPress, and that's where I build all the sites for my clients on. That is the first system that you need to select. And again, like I said, make the best selection that works for you. Now, if you do choose something like WordPress, you're going to need hosting. And hosting is a location for your website. I have an analogy for you. Think of your website as a house on a street. The hosting is the land where your house sits. It provides that foundation and space for your home. It's that physical location where your home exists. That is how you need to think of your hosting. And this is the second system that you need to keep in mind when you're thinking about your website. You want to select a really quality, good hosting provider. And what that means is you want a place that is reputable, that allows your website to run with enough space and enough speed, and has really good customer service. That to me is actually the most important piece of the puzzle, because having a hosting company that doesn't provide you with customer service or support is almost useless in my book. So those three things are really important to think of when you are choosing a hosting provider. I tend to recommend all my clients use ICDsoft. I've worked with them for the past, 6 years, and they're a hosting provider that I really love using. They are affordable and they offer great value for what they have. The speed is good and their customer service is the best. So ICDsoft is a hosting provider that I use with all of my clients. But SiteGround is also a really good one. Cloudways, there are a bunch out there. What I would say is probably try and stay away from Bluehost or GoDaddy, because those are two that aren't the best systems to build your website on. But like I said, SiteGround, ICDsoft, Cloudways, WP Engine, those are some really great options for hosting. We just talked about the first system that you need, which is selecting your website platform to build your website on. And then secondary to that, we talked about the hosting if you decide to go with your WordPress. Those are the first two systems. But now I want to talk about the two systems that I think are essential to making money with your website and how you can integrate those into your site. The first one that I consider so important is a CRM. Now, what's a CRM? It's a customer relationship management platform. Really long name, but basically it is something that is used to store every interaction a customer has with your business in one central database. And it is such an important piece of the puzzle. Let me give you an example of a few options. You probably have heard people talk about Dubsado. That's one that a lot of people use. I know that HubSpot has a CRM. 17 Hats is another one. And Honeybook. I myself actually use Honeybook. And what happens is that is the central location that takes my potential customer from sending an inquiry to getting a contract, paying their invoice, to becoming a client and accessing a client portal and scheduling calls with me, approving assets and things like that. And why it's so important is because it helps keep all that information in one place and can work behind the scenes in conjunction with your website. Now, what do I mean by that? On your website is built with an overall goal in mind. Your website needs to have a goal. If you don't know what your goal is, that's the first thing to look at. Where are you trying to drive people to? For most service providers, the goal of their website is to have someone schedule a consultation call with them. That's the first step in the process. Now, where does that happen? It traditionally happens on the contact page. You are sending your visitors to your contact page from your website. And on the contact page, typically there is a form that people fill out. Name, email, perhaps you ask some questions to get a little bit more information so that you can prepare for that consultation call. And then most likely they are taken to a place where they can book with you. Now, some people have a form that is built directly through their website. What happens when someone fills out that information, that potential client, is that they put in their information, goes into the website form, and the business owner gets an email with that potential client's responses. And it is up to that business owner to take the next step to reach out and schedule a consultation call or get more information that they need. That's what happens when you put a contact form on that contact page. But if you are integrating a CRM platform like a Honeybook or a Dubsado, the process is entirely different. There is a system behind getting people into your pipeline. Let me talk you through what happens when someone signs up on my contact page. The overall goal of my website is to have people book a consultation call with me. I'm driving them to the contact page, my contact page on my website. When they get there, I have some questions. I want to learn a little bit more about their business, if they have a website right now, what they're looking to accomplish, and how they hope this new website will change their business. When they click send, because I have integrated my CRM like Honeybook, they are immediately taken to a place where they can schedule a consultation call with me. So they get to my calendar, they see the availabilities that I have, and they can book a time on my calendar for us to have our consultation call. The information that they put into the form is actually being sent to my Honeybook, my CRM, and it has opened up a file that it's created for this potential client with all that information. And I have an email that goes out to them to thank them for their inquiry and to share a little bit more about what it's like to work with me. I also have that appointment that they just booked that is integrated with their file so that it is connected, and I know that I am meeting with this client on this date. And I have reminders that will go out reminding them of that upcoming appointment, all in one place. That is how I'm integrating that CRM into my website, that system. So I didn't have to do anything. They filled out a form and they were already taken care of. The systems made it all happen so that, this could have happened. Let's say it was 10 o'clock at night. They're researching website designers to work with. They saw my site. They put in an inquiry. They filled out the form. They immediately could schedule an appointment with me, and they found that they could have something the next day in the afternoon. They're all set. They have an email confirming. They know what it's like to work with me. And I wake up in the morning and I see, oh, I have an appointment booked this afternoon for a consultation call, and I didn't have to do anything. That is the beauty of systems. That's what makes me so happy when you can integrate a process like that into your website. Now, let's pretend that you didn't have a CRM on your website. What would have happened? At 10 o'clock at night, they filled out the inquiry form. You're probably not on, or I hope you're not on your computer at 10 o'clock at night answering emails. So it landed in your inbox. You wake up the next morning and you send them an email and ask them any other questions that you need to know, and perhaps you send them a link to your scheduler. Now, the person has actually already gone on and done other things. And sometimes it's harder to capture their attention again. Maybe they were able to connect with someone else who already had them book a call immediately on the spot. Or maybe they had a change of timing, or they decided that maybe today isn't the right time to go forward with this. People have short attention spans. They want immediate response. So that's why having a CRM is so important, to take care of them and have these systems built behind the scenes. Now, I want to take you through what happens next after they book a consultation call, because this is so important as well. When you have that consultation call and you have the CRM and they decide that they want to move forward, then you can directly send your contract and your invoice and receive payment and just keep track of them all in one place. And it goes on and on. I love automations, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I do in my processes and systems as I build out this business. But for now, I just wanted to share with you the system that I think is so important to have in your website. It's that CRM that you have connected. If you can't do a CRM, if this is a little bit too much for you and it's overwhelming to think of setting something up like that, then I suggest integrating a scheduler. Even having that takes the next step off of you and allows your client, your potential client, to book a time with you immediately, and you don't lose their attention. So having a CRM in your website is so important to having it work for you around the clock. And if not a CRM, then having your scheduler. And there are some great schedulers out there. There's Calendly and Square and Amelia, and some of them even have free options for one appointment. So if you haven't integrated something like a CRM or a scheduler into your website, and right now you just have a form, I would suggest that you think about integrating it so that you can create some of those systems and automations behind the scene. So you can sit back and relax and feel like your website is working for you even a little bit harder, and you'll get more results. And finally, the last system that I think is super important integrating into your website is your email service provider, your email marketing system. This is also a critical piece of the puzzle. And why do I say that? For a website to make you money, I think that you also need to include a way to capture your visitors' email addresses, because sometimes they'll come to your website and they aren't ready to buy, and that's okay. But you don't want them to leave and forget about you, which is so easy to do. So how do you go about keeping their attention and building that know, like, and trust factor? You need to wait for them to give you their email address in exchange for something valuable. And this is what I like to call the irresistible freebie. I share this with all of my clients. I have a few freebies on my website. For example, I have a website personality quiz. It's so fun. I built this with an amazing copywriter, Kate Hollis, and quiz strategist. And she helped me build a quiz that helps you go through and find out what your website personality is. And when you get to the end, it shares with you some ways that you can modify your existing website to showcase your personality a little bit more in a way that works for you and will attract those ideal clients. That is an example of a freebie. I think that all websites should have a freebie or a way to collect email addresses on it. And I say a freebie because People are hesitant to give out their email address unless they're getting something valuable in exchange, even more than ever. And having a newsletter sign up form on your website, something that says sign up for my newsletter, just isn't cutting it these days. People don't just sign up for newsletters, with an exception of a nonprofit. And I work with a lot of nonprofits, and that people want to stay in touch with and learn more about the organization. But for businesses, it's really hard for someone to just sign up for a newsletter. You want to be offering something exclusive, something really exciting that entices them to give you their email address. However you get that email address, be it that freebie, or if you do have a newsletter subscription, you want an email marketing platform working behind the scenes for you on your website. You want to integrate it into the back end because when someone gives you their email, you want the systems to be doing all the work for you. You want the system to be adding them to your email list so that you can continue that conversation and build that know, like, and trust factor. And if you have a freebie, then you want the system to be able to deliver that freebie. Send them an email with that freebie, thanking them for it. Potentially have a welcome series, a series of emails, 3-4 emails that go out, welcoming them to your list, sharing a little bit about who you are and how you plan to enrich their lives and share more information with them. The whole goal of your email list is to build that know, like, and trust factor, because potentially one day they could have a problem that you could solve and you will be right in their inbox recommending a solution. So integrating email marketing is a really important piece of the puzzle when it comes to your website. There are a lot of platforms out there. There's MailChimp, MailerLite, ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, so many others. And most of them can be integrated really easily into your website. There are ways that you can integrate them using plugins or using some code behind the scene. And even if you can't integrate it natively into your website, what you can do is you can link off to that landing page where someone can sign up. The most important part is that you're driving people to share their email address in a place where the system can kind of take it from there and do what it needs to do. An email marketing platform is a really critical piece of the puzzle as well when it comes to systems behind your website. And I'll be sharing with you in upcoming episodes of things that I like to do with my clients and what's been successful in terms of email marketing and their websites. If you're looking to get started with an email marketing platform, I tend to recommend MailerLite. I find that it's a really, really nice place for people to start. At the time of this podcast, I believe it's free for up to 500 contacts, and it includes automations. And the whole point of email marketing is to have those automations. So to sum it up, today we talked about the systems behind your website and what I consider are super important. The first system was selecting the platform that you want to build your website in. The second was, if you decided to go with a WordPress website, deciding on your hosting system. That is number 2. And then finally, the 2 that I believe every high converting website out there should have are your CRM and your email marketing platform. The CRM or scheduler, if you want, should be integrated on your contact page. And your email marketing should be integrated throughout, getting people to share with you their email addresses so that you can deliver freebies and get them on your newsletter list so that you can continue the conversation. I wanted to just set the stage because I love systems and I love making sure that everything's working for you behind the scenes. And in future episodes, I want to dive deeper into these systems and how I use it for some of my clients. But this kind of set the stage so that you understand when I talk about these systems, what I mean, and having everything work for you around the clock, 24/7, like I like to say. Thanks so much for tuning in. And my next episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you know if you're ready for a new website. So I'll see you then. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast all the way to the end. I really appreciate you being here. Please make sure to subscribe to the podcast, rate, review, and share it with someone else you know it can help. If you like this episode, then I want to invite you to visit jennybdesigns.com, where you'll find videos and resources to help make your current website work even harder for you. And if you're feeling like your current website doesn't truly reflect you or your brand today, it's not attracting your ideal clients or making sales, or maybe you just feel embarrassed by it and it's holding your business back, then reach out. I'd love to help you design a website that truly reflects you, works for you 24/7, bringing in those ideal clients and making you money. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time for another new episode.